Hi everyone, welcome to the second part of this series from this cute little page from the story of precious cats. Now we have this autumnal, well, almost harvesty Thanksgiving-y type picture, which I thought was really seasonal and very cute. And we've done this little bit, we're just going to sort of work our way through. So let's come in a little closer. We're going to do this sort of bit, I think, next. We're using the Castle Arts Gold pencils. As I mentioned in the last video, I have some comparison charts, so if you don't have these pencils, you can should be able to find some in my Ko-fi. This is the terracotta. I'm going to start this pumpkin with quite a deep colour. I want it to look a bit different to this one. So yeah, I'm just putting a dark bit here and then fading it out towards the edge. We'll get a lighter orange on top after. Yes, so in my Ko-fi there are comparison charts for the Castle Arts Gold. So I'm trying to think. I did one with soft touch pencils, the other castles. I did one with, pretty sure I usually do everything with polys and prisms because I know they're sort of probably the most popular brands. And I'm not sure what else, but if there isn't one for your favourite brand of pencil and you want one, just drop me a comment, as I said the other day in the last video. So I'm trying to just mark out where the darker areas would be, but actually I want this one darker than this one, so I'm going to put a little bit even on this one, which is our sort of lightest one, equivalent to here. Can't see. Anyway, and a bit around the stem. What do you call it? I call it a stalk. You know, those birds. Okay, and we're going to go with the cadmium orange deep. We don't have a great deal of orangey tone, so this is the only other one really if we want to keep it dark. Now you notice I haven't really sharpened this. I don't know if it's that necessary, to be honest. We'll see how it goes really. So this is, you know, just darker than this one. I think it's nice to have them a bit different. I don't know if it's particularly realistic that they're that different in colour, but I don't think it matters that much. I think it's just nice to do them in a little bit of a different way. The sun has come out now. It has been so muggy today and cloudy, and I can smell in the air like dampy mould. It's lovely. Really nice. I mean, I can normally smell when rain's coming. I think it's something we can all do, but this doesn't. It just smells like wet mouldy soil. It's lovely. But anyway, I'm hoping it's going to, if it's sunny, maybe the clouds burn off. Maybe it'll be a bit less muggy. I don't know, but it's not particularly pleasant weather for anyone really, whether you like it hot or you like it wet. It's just a bit ick, isn't it? So I'm going to use a yellow to just finish this off and brighten it. Just looking, I think the brilliant yellow is the one that's sort of nearest to orange, so that's why I'm choosing this one. Let's come up a tad. No, it doesn't really work. I can't move my book, my pencils are on it, so I'm just going to blend that into all of it really, just to put a thick layer on, and it will make it vibrant without making it too, you know, it looks quite different now to the other one, which is the plan. And of course, if you'd rather, you can do yours all the same, and you could perhaps watch through all the videos, see how I colour them all, and then pick one that you like and do them the same. I think I normally do them all the same. I just thought today I would do something a little bit different. Well, I say them, I mean, you know, when I've got something the same in a page, I usually colour it the same way. But I didn't want this to look like a big mishmash of different colours, but because they're all going to be orangey tones, then I don't think it will. I think it'll just look like they're slightly different varieties or from different plants or different ripenesses even. I don't really know what determines different colours of pumpkin. I assume it's those things that I said, but I don't know for sure. There we go. Just filling in a few gaps. There. So there is our, it's very bright, isn't it? Woo, it's really vibrant. Do our little stem. Let's just flip to our green section. What colour should we use? I am thinking probably the oxide of chrome. I was thinking it's quite a brownish green. I think it might work. Let's just do the whole thing lightly. The reason for doing that is that I can mark out where it is on the page. I mean, because there's so many different lines and dashes and dots, I can't always easily see what's what. So now I can see it. I can see that, look, there's a bit here that overhangs. There'll be shadow in there. So that bit's going to be dark, and we'll just carry that darker bit onto there. And we've got these sort of lines. We could just sort of follow the lines with a bit of darker colour. Maybe at the bottom of the stem there'd be some more. It'd be a bit darker. The same here, maybe a bit lighter towards the top. And there we've sort of virtually done it. Few easy strokes. Now I did go away and look up corn cobs, as I said in yesterday's video. Now I see you can get red and black ones, but what I read said they were ornamental. Now I don't know, and then I saw a recipe for them, so I'm sure maybe some are and some aren't. I use the lemon yellow to colours. So what I decided to do was that I wouldn't do red and black. I would just keep them yellow, but different shades of yellow. This is tricky. I've got to work out what's corn. Is that corn or a berry? It's slightly orange because I've did my pumpkin on it, so I'm going to make it, I went over the lines of my pumpkin, so I'm going to make it yellow because I think it'll look better. So you can see these are already a bit darker looking than those, but we're going to just go in with a darker yellow. Maybe the, what's that? Tuscan? No. Naples yellow. Let's try the Naples yellow. Is that it? Yeah. I don't know if it's strong enough to show up. I'm going to give it a go. I feel like I'm not close enough to the middle. There we go. So put in a bit of shadow underneath each row, and then just separate out each one with a little bit of this colour. Just decide which side you want the shadow really, and go through it. I've been cleaning today. It's Saturday. We do our cleaning and shopping on a Saturday. It's nice to have it done. But it's quite the chore, isn't it? But it's a nice feeling, isn't it, when it's all finished and you know that it's done. Right, I am going to do quite a pale leaf. I quite like the leaf green light. I think we used that on the tips of our previous one. I'm going to use it for the main part and then see how it looks. So here it is, leaf green light. I need to sharpen it. I'm never going to get in those little spaces otherwise. Now the difference between, I was talking in my last video about the difference between the soft touch and the gold Castle Arts pencils, and sharpening is a main difference. When you sharpen these, the wood is beautifully smooth. I don't know how well you can see that, but when you sharpen the soft touch, the wood can feel like it's splintering in the sharpener. It's just not such a high quality wood, but for me that's not really a big deal, you know. It's just wood. I'm not that bothered by it. It doesn't seem to make any difference to how easily the leads break, which for me is a far more important issue. I'm just going to over colour some of the areas I think that should be darker. Where these lines are drawn on, I feel like that's supposed to be indicating there's some shadow, so we need a darker colour, and I figure if I colour this a bit more intensely, that might give us a darker colour without me having to select a different colour, because actually I'm rather liking that as it is without adding anything in. I'm going to leave that there. We have our grape leaves here now. Yes, I coloured those before down here, but I'm going to not necessarily, I thought, why, I'm not going to do them the same. So I'm going to have a look and see what I have got. I'm going to grab my permanent green. It's a little bit darker. Here it is. And I'm going to just do a really, really light layer over them to start with, because I want another colour on top, and I don't want them to be too dark, but I want them to look different to the others, which are quite light. So I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to think about where I want it darker. Well, quite keen to make them look similar to these in the making it darker where the sort of stems are, and veins, sorry, not stems, that's the wrong word. So going to do that across those bits and then sort of scumble it out a little bit, or fade it out towards the edges like that, and then we're going to go over it with a different colour. I'm quite keen on the leaf green light, which we used for this. It's our only light colour unless I go for a yellow, which I could. I think I'm going to try the yellow actually. What's the Tuscan? Yeah, I'm going to try the Tuscan yellow, because I think it will show the green through but brighten it. So we'll have a go and see how it looks, because I don't want to use the same green that I used for this, although the risk is that it will look quite similar because we're mixing yellow with green, and that's yellowy green. But actually I think it's okay. It looks a little bit different, it looks a bit patchy, but I don't mind. I think it's quite nice seeing a bit of the more yellowy colour coming through. Also, our Prussian green was a little bit bluey, and this is eliminating that, which I'm pleased about. There we go. Now we've got some berries here, and I'm thinking I'm looking at the colours we've got. I often do berries orange. Not going to do them orange, you're going to have more. There's another 3 pumpkins to do, so I'm thinking maybe a red would be quite nice for our berries. Now we don't have many reds in this set either. The reds are either really, really intensely dark or, oh excuse me, quite pink, but I am going to grab the vermillion, if I can find it, there it is, and use this as a base for the berries. So I'm going to do it quite intensely, but you can see it's a bit pinky, so we're going to go over it with a less pink. A less pink, that's a colour. With a darker colour, that isn't so pink, a bit more reddish, brownish probably shade. And what we'll do with our other sets, we've got a couple of other sets of berries, is we'll do them similarly in a red, but maybe slightly different shades to make them look like they're different ripenesses of berry, because it's more realistic, isn't it? What was I looking at earlier? And the berries were such different colours. Right, so it's quite red and quite pinkish. I'm going to turn to the reddish browns, which are here. So we've got our spice red. No, we've got our henna brown. That might work. Mahogany could work as well. I think I'm going to go for the mahogany. It's yeah, it's definitely sort of reddish. And I'm just going to put a bit on to start with and just see how it blends and looks and works. It's not going too dark, so I can put it over everything, I think. It's interesting, yeah. It's not layering up that well. But we're getting a slightly darker look, which is nice. And I mustn't forget a little bit of stick that our berries have got. I'm I'm thinking they would, I don't know whether these are a particular type of famous Thanksgiving berry. Sorry, I do sound a little ridiculous, don't I? Or not, so I don't know whether they should be a particular colour, but I think it's quite nice having that little pop of red. And here we have a Van Dyke brown, which I'm going to use for the stick. It's quite thin, the stick, so I'm just going to block it in quite dark. Okay, now where are we going to go? Well, I don't want to do too much the same in each video, and we've got a cat here with a pumpkin, so I'm thinking maybe I should do the cat's hat rather than doing another pumpkin. We may have to do more than one in some videos. Now I'm looking at this thinking straw hat. I don't know if that's what you were thinking. It's just what came straight to my mind. I'm just looking at my colours and I'm thinking that's a bit bright. That's too pale. We've got a bit of a, I think I am going to put the yellow ochre. I think that's the right tone. So here is my yellow ochre, and I'm actually going to use it all over the hat apart from the bow, the ribbon. So, and I'm just going to put an even layer of it over all of the hat just to start with, just so I can see how it lays down, what sort of colour it actually is, and that sort of thing. So just working my way around the hat. Now I need to be careful of the bow, try not to go over the line. If you do, oh, there's two there. If you do like I did, don't worry, you can erase it slightly, which I'm just going to do. But also you can just use a colour for the bow that covers it up if you would rather do it that way. Now this is a little browner than I would have liked, but I can go over it with some yellow afterwards to sort of brighten it a little and lighten it a little. But it's just a matter of getting a little bit down. What I'm going to do is use a darker layer of this for the bits that I think need to be a bit darker, that might be shadowed, shaded, you know, or need to provide the impression of shape. I'm just trying to work out where these bits of bow go. That bit go, okay. That bit's behind there, that starts there. Yeah, so it's not the easiest to decipher, but I've got there now. But I find this style of drawing actually quite easy to colour, to be honest. Some styles of drawing are a little bit more difficult. They might have lots of lines, and that's like Kirby and Melponmi Chatsapanagio too. They put in so many lines, it can make it quite difficult to work out what's going on in the picture. And also it can make the pictures quite dark, depending on the type of pencil you use. If you use one that is transparent, then you can see all those dark lines through, and it makes your picture overall look quite dark. Whereas if you use a pencil which sits on top of the black and blocks it, then that's a little better. Now under here it's going to be more shadowed, so I'm going to add another layer of this in here, just another even layer, and then I'm going to just go in a lot darker just near these edges here, near the cat's ear and the top of the hat. Okay, now the rest of it I think would be just darker on the edge, so I'm going to go all the way around the edge, along the edge, putting another layer down, and this not only will help to give the hat a bit of shape, but going along the edge like that will just make sure that I hadn't missed any bits, because sometimes it's easy to either go out of the edges or miss them off entirely. Strangest noise outside. Go whistling. Most odd. My husband thinks it's a kid screaming. He's a bit worried. Right, we are going to use a yellow on top just to make it look more straw-like and vibrant. And I'm thinking the lemon yellow light is quite a nice light colour. Lemon yellow light, and we'll just add it on top of all of it. Yeah, talking of cars, which was, my son said he thought the kid was just shouting out of a car or something. Our car alarm went off this morning. We still don't know why. It was about 6 o'clock. It's quite early. But yeah, we couldn't figure out why it went off so early or what it was. We looked out, obviously husband stopped the alarm with his keys. We looked out of the window, we couldn't see anything, so we don't know what set it off. There were no people about. We've had a spate of people trying to rob cars, or they have robbed cars in the area where people have left the doors open and they've gone in and stolen like their car park change and things like that. It happens throughout our town and it's just everywhere really. That's been happening, and we didn't know if it was that, but couldn't see anybody, and also it was so light that it didn't feel like it would be someone. Right, we are going to do our cat's eyes. Now eyes are quite difficult to do, I feel personally. We're going to have a good go. I have got an idea for the eyes. I'm going to start with the cobalt turquoise and do a layer of that first. Cobalt turquoise in here, just a light layer like that, and then I'm going to get some Venetian blue. It's a slightly purpley blue. I'm trying to find it. Sorry, my arm across the shot. There it is. It's a sort of grey purpley blue, and I think it will work quite nicely. And I'm going to put it down a bit darker at the top, still not that dark, and then gently towards the bottom, just less and less as we go. Now I don't know whether that should be white or black. I'm just going to turn to the front of the book because I've got a cat here. Now those bits have been left white, so that's what we'll do too. It's supposed to be like, I guess, a shine in the eye. So I'm going to darken that actually at the top a bit more. Fade it down to the bottom. Like that. And then the one on the front has got quite a lot of black in the eye, so I'm going to do a little bit of black. Not too much. I need to sharpen it though. I want it really sharp. So this is the ivory black, and I'm just going to put it under the eyelid, and then just down a little bit, just sort of fade it. The same on this side, and around that white mark a bit, so the white sort of stands out. There we go. Now the fur, we got fur to do. I'm wondering, Let's do the clothes first. I'm thinking we've only got the face, haven't we? The tail and the hands. Paws. Hands. Maybe we'll do that before we finish, actually. I'm not really very sure of what colours to do cats. But I think I am going to do... Yes, I'm going to get the almond first. This is a really light brownish colour. And I'm going to use it for the around the nose area here, where I think it would be quite light. Now it looks quite white almost, but it is there, like that, just a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll do. Then I'm thinking, what colour is our cat going to be? Maybe greyish brownish. Let's take some Davy's grey first. Where are you, Davy's grey? There it is. Use the Davy's grey. Make it a grey cat. And I'm going to start actually base of the tail. Now you want to use a stroke so that you can start making it look like fur right away. And I'm just putting this on top of the darker areas. Like that. And then like here under the hat and along the sides of the face. And maybe along here a little bit. But I'm also thinking inside the ear. Like that. And here, look, got a little pattern here. And then I shall get a lighter grey. Actually, we've got a tiny bit there. I shall get the lighter grey. We've got a warm grey light, which I'm going to use. I'm just going to continue from where I left off, really. Like that. And through the face. Now you can't see many lines as I'm doing this. What I'm going to do is come back after with a slightly darker pencil and put a few more fur lines on top of this lighter area. While I do the top of the ear. Now I never quite know whether to do the ear with some pink or whether that's going to look a bit odd, so I'm not going to do it with pink. I'm just going to do it with grey. I'm just trying to colour in the direction that the fur might grow, like that, and there towards the nose, and then on the nose it will be that way, and each little paw, like that, and here, like that. Just looking at how it's doing. Okay, I am thinking about, I'd really like a sort of pale brown. I don't think we have such a thing. I know, I'm going to use what's called the earth green here, which is the browny colour, I think. I'm just going to scribble it to make sure it's not green. No, it's not. It's like a yellowy brown. Okay, so here it is, earth green. Now I'm going to use this to put some fur lines in to add a bit of depth and colour as well, but you want it really sharp if you want to see the fur. This might have not been the best colour choice, but never mind. Now when you're doing fur, you don't want to here the fur will all start at the same place, but here for example it won't, so you don't want to do like a line. You want to mix them up again so that it doesn't look like the fur is all starting. Obviously it all starts there, but don't make it all the same length and starting in the same place, or else it looks a little bit strange. It doesn't look so natural. It's quite nice to see just a few streaks of fur. And I remember the nose, straight on the nose, and then comes out from the sides of the nose, and it'll help you to start seeing a bit of shape in your face as well. We do it on the hands, paws. I'll get it right one day. There we go. And now I'm going to go back to our Davys grey and give it a good sharpen and do a little bit of sort of shadowing. So like where the nose ends here, I think it would be quite dark, sort of under the eye there, and it will give us just a bit of shape to the nose. I'm trying to still do fur, quite difficult, like that, and under here. And then I'm thinking on our paws it might be a little bit darker at the bottom, like here. And we've got the marks on the tail already. And then remember we've got this marking here which isn't shadow, it's just a different colour on our cap. So we can fill that in too. I'm just going to do a little bit around the edge of the hat. Like that. Now here look, I feel that there should be some depth in there and there where the ear is dented in a bit. So I've got that. Put a bit more under the eye. Now the whites of the eyes are quite white, and I think they might have a little bit of shadow in them. So I'm going to use my warm grey light just to put a tiny bit of shadow in those eyes just before I finish. So what I'm going to do is sharpen it really sharp and put just a little bit at the bottom and the top. I want to sort of tone it down a bit. Now I know I haven't done the ribbon on the hat, and that's partly mainly I'm going to get a white pen to do the eye. I'm just going to go over these bits in the middle of the eye so they look really white. Yeah, I haven't done the ribbon because I want to see what colour is needed for it once I do a lot of the rest of the page. But there is what we have done today. So we're sort of just moving across the page. Obviously we haven't done loads, we've still got the cat's clothes and the pumpkin, we've got lots to do still. I'm not sure whether that is his paw or not, but I think that's hers. That one is his, isn't it? And that and that. So we'll do those in the next video as well, but I am going to leave that for now. So thank you for watching. I hope that you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.